Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. It has been a while since I've sat down and done a proper sit-down video since I've had a baby. Taking advantage of nap time. Hopefully we'll get some more of these. We're just going to jump right in because I don't know how long I have. But I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys about how our year went, our homeschool year, and the plans for the next year. I know this is late because school's starting in just a few days for us at least. But before I get started, I want to introduce myself because homeschool videos always bring new faces. So hello and welcome if you're new. My name is Rainbow. I am a mom of 3 and I'm actually homeschooling 3 kids this year. So I have, let's just talk about this year. That's easier to do. Gearing up for the new year, my brain is there. So I'll be reviewing how our year last year went. But this year I have a 7th grader and 2 4th graders and a baby. So I have a daughter who is turning 13 this fall, and I have a son who is 9, and then I have a baby who is 8 months old right now. So crazy. But I am also homeschooling for another family, so we're having an additional kid join us this year, and we are so excited for that. So this year I'll be teaching 4th and 7th grade, and last year I was teaching 6th and 3rd. And so we'll do a little bit of a mix-up of how last year went and what we are planning on doing this year. We have homeschooled the entire duration of my kids' education. My kids have never gone to public school, but I am a huge welcomer of everybody on the homeschool path. I know a lot of people are new to homeschool. A lot of people have been interested in the last few years since it's gained some popularity and are looking for resources, tips, tricks on how to homeschool. So I like to put these videos out just so you can see what a kind of a year review looks like for some homeschoolers. I really value these because for myself, I've always been a picker and a chooser. I take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and we create our own homeschool journey that way. So if that is you, if you are new to my channel, then I hope you feel welcome here. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'm going to be putting out, sprinkling out some homeschool videos through the rest of the fall and through the whole year. I'm going to try and be better this year since the baby stuff has settled down a little bit. So last year was actually a really interesting year. Obviously, again, we had a baby in the middle of the school year. So my youngest was born on the winter solstice, December 21st, right before Christmas. And we prepared for that, obviously. I knew I was pregnant before the new school year launched, so we knew going in it was going to be a really weird school year. We schooled up until December, and then we took a full month off because obviously you don't know when a baby is going to arrive. I wanted to prep for the holidays. I wanted to prep for the baby. So we planned the year to take that month off. And then we had planned to slowly kind of ease in mid-January, mid to end January, back into our school year. So what we did was we stuck to our curriculum. We follow Blossom and Root curriculum. I love them. If you watch my homeschool videos and you look through my homeschool playlist, then you'll see several Blossom and Root reviews. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I purchase my own curriculum every single year, but it is the one curriculum I have found that I've really connected with and I love. I am not a curriculum gal. I started as an unschooling parent, and we've slowly evolved into needing more structure. I need more structure. We are Waldorf-y inspired. We always have been from the toddler years. Not Waldorf true bloods at all, but inspired by Waldorf. I love the feeling. I like that vibe, and Blossom and Root kind of carries the things I really love about Waldorf within its curriculum because it's kind of nature-based. It's really beautifully hands-on, and that really works well for us, and it's very flexible. So I have taught so far 1st through 6th, technically. Level 6 for Blossom Root is not all the way out, but I am using it as it comes out. They're releasing it slowly. So I've taught 1st to 5th grade with Blossom Root curriculum. So I feel like I have a pretty good handle on how it flows and how each year is, and I can't say enough good things about it. There have been some things I've been a little bit picky with that I've talked about in previous videos, but I love it. So last year we used Blossom and Root curriculum for 3rd grade, and obviously 6th grade wasn't out, so I had to create my own plan for 6th grade, which was quite difficult, but we survived it. And so for the first chunk of the year, we followed our plan really well, and then the baby was born. And things kind of went off the rails, but not in a bad way. We actively chose to go back to a little bit more unschooly path. And we actually, like, I sat down with the kids, we had a family meeting, and we were like, do we want to try out unschooling again? Because, after the baby was born, nobody was really feeling sitting down and doing curriculum. It was hard to balance, obviously, with a newborn for me, but for them, they just weren't really feeling it. So we also just isolated a lot during the winter because of the baby. So we decided to ask them if they wanted to try unschooling again, and we explained what that would look like for our family, and they were gung-ho about trying, and so that's what we did. For the second half of the year, we tried unschooling, and the results actually surprised me a lot. Again, I remind you that we started as unschoolers, unschooling was the life for us, and then we moved on. So to go back was really interesting to see what my kids would think, and after a couple of months, I would say about April, May, towards the end of the school year, we sat down again as a check-in to be like, hey, how's everybody liking it? And the consensus was, they're very opinionated. They did not like it. They did not wish to continue. It was fine. It's not that they hated it, but they did not want to go forward with unschooling. Sorry guys, kid interruptions. But long story short, they really did not like unschooling. They didn't hate it, but they tried it. They were like, we tried a few different kind of variations. It wasn't that they didn't like unschooling. They came to me both separately around the same time, which I thought was interesting. And they were like, hey, this has been fun, but we really miss our rhythm. We really miss our written school. We really miss schooling at the table for the little bits. We really miss our curriculum. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, we can go back to it. And so we kind of wrapped up the year with a little bit of both, and by then it was already the year was already kind of over, so we were like, okay, next year we'll go back and do curriculum, and they were so excited for it, and they're still so excited. We start next week. Everybody is just super eager to get back into rhythm. Like I mentioned, Waldorf, so rhythm is really important in Waldorf philosophy, and so that is something I've carried on through with my kids even as they get older. And so our schooling rhythm is just something they really, really grasp onto, and it's something that really helps our family life flow, and it helps us stay really calm and rooted as a family, even when we're busy doing activities and going off to other homeschool events and things like that through the week. So that was an interesting part of our year, and some interesting lessons for me especially, and I think for the kids as well. For the most part though, I feel like we achieved the goals we set because we knew it would be kind of a loopy year. We knew it would be a little bit wishy-washy with the baby coming in the middle of the year, but I think we really made the best of it. I think we did a good job sticking to what we had planned to do, and I'm really happy with how the year went overall. I will say that I just don't think that unschooling works for everybody. I think that it's something that, and not to offend anybody, I know I know the unschool community, again, as somebody who came from the unschool community and started as an unschooler, I feel like this subject is kind of touchy, but I just don't think it works for every kid and every family. I think it needs to be super intentionally done. Otherwise, it's very easy, it's a very slippery slope to just do nothing, or to just play video games, and all of a sudden your kid's 14 and doesn't know basic math, and that does happen in the unschool community. It really does. Not all the time, and some kids unschool and they're just brilliant and they're able to do all of the things they want to do, and some kids definitely fall through the cracks, in my opinion. So don't come at me, it's just my opinion. So it's just definitely something that I am able to awarely recognize doesn't work for our family, and I'm really happy to see, not happy, but I was pleasantly surprised to see the kids, mostly surprised because I was willing to go back to it and willing to put that work in, but it was really interesting for me to see the kids be like, this is not for us, no thank you, we're not interested in this at all. They were so ugh, okay, sorry mom, don't want to hurt your feelings, but ugh. And I was like, oh. So as I had said, we had a baby, so we pulled back out of a lot of our classes, and then we started doing a lot more in the spring and in the summer once the baby was a little bit older and I felt comfortable taking them out again, and I wanted to go, people again. So the kids maintained things like their sports classes and homeschool community classes through the winter a little bit, and then we just kind of pulled out of everything and had a nice family winter. And now we've jumped back into things, and the kids are gearing up to do all of their normal activities again. So I think that's why I hesitated to do this video a little bit earlier in the year, because it was just a really one-off year for us. It's not a normal everyday event to just have a baby in the middle of the school year. So I feel like it was a big learning experience for all of us. Like, I learned a lot about like how best to balance things with a baby, and just how to be in that many places at once. And so I'm very confident going into this school year, which is why I have welcomed another child into our school days, and I'm homeschooling for another family. I mentioned briefly about homeschool groups and stuff, so just launching in, I run one of the homeschool groups in our local area. Now I have a couple other moms running it with me and just helping, and that has been so helpful, especially when I had a baby and had to step away from everything. So all of those things are picking back up, and we're really excited to go forward with those. We have a really beautiful homeschool community here, very active, a lot of things going on, lots of field trips, lots of learning opportunities, lots of classes, so we are very fortunate in that regard. We don't have any homeschool co-ops here, like true proper co-ops where you can send your kid 2 or 3 days a week. It's very heavy parent involvement, but it is a really beautiful, rich homeschool community here, so I'm very grateful for that. So for this next year, for the 2023-2024 school year, we are going back into our Blossom and Root for 4th grade. I love 4th grade Blossom and Root. It is so fun. I'm really excited to teach 2 little boys 4th grade Blossom and Root, because there's a really heavy focus on Greek mythology and Norse mythology, and they are so excited to do that. I feel a little bit like a duck out of water, fish out of water with 7th grade. It feels a little bit bigger because it is a higher grade. We're getting a little bit more serious now, and I am flying without a curriculum for the first time in a few years. And well, last year I was as well, but so this year level 6 of Blossom and Root is on a slow release, so there's one novel study out right now, and I did purchase it and we are using it. The first one is with this book called The First Rule of Punk, and because Blossom and Root works in levels and not grades, their levels are adaptable to a certain fluctuation of ages. So we're going to use it for 7th grade. My daughter is 12 turning 13, so she's perfectly in the age range. I noticed that Blossom and Root uses a lot of books from, it might be 8th grade curriculum over here, like maybe Brave Reader is using this for 8th or 9th grade, and maybe, I don't know, this other curriculum is using it for 6th grade or something like that. And I feel like there's like quite a large age range, because most of these books are geared towards, you know, there's like a big age gap, maybe 11 to 14 or something. So I just keep an eye on that, and then like if the grammar and that section needs to be beefed up a little bit, I'll do that. But besides that, there is a homeschool resource that I will share in a link below. It is specifically Canadian, but it might be helpful for other people, I'm not sure. We are Canadian, if you were unaware. So I found this website, and it is just free resources. You click on the grade, and then it has it broken down into topics. So math, if you want online math, it drops down, and like these are the best online maths. If you want a workbook, here's the best workbooks for math that meet like the Canadian curriculum standard. So I am using Blossom and Root for English, and we'll see what else comes out in a timely manner. I know their science is not expected to be out this fall at all. Maybe over, like I'm thinking maybe January time, the first little bit will be out. So I plan to kind of just use the standard curriculum for 7th grade in Alberta, where we are. So I'm going off of the units that are recommended. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted by my kids. And I'm going to just kind of fill it in as I need. Thankfully, it is enough of an outline, at least for me, where it's like, okay, here's the science units to focus on this year, like heat and whatever is on the list. Social studies, my husband will be teaching this year for both of the kids, because my husband is a history buff, and I will be teaching part part of social studies. Social studies in Canada is hard because you can't use any American curriculums like you can for all the other things. Usually we can use any American curriculum, you just don't put math and don't put social in it. Social studies is something that you have to use Canadian, and it's not something there's not a lot of Canadian options, which is kind of frustrating. So I'm going to do some Canadian units and just kind of follow, again, what just uses a very loose guideline, the Alberta recommendations for the Canadian curriculum and what is recommended to teach at this age. But my husband is going to go in and, like, again, he's a huge history buff, like enormous. He loves history. It's just something that is an interest of his. And if you've ever loved somebody with ADHD, you know when they hyperfixate on something, they will just know all of the things about it. So my husband is just a wealth of knowledge. He is a big gaming nerd too, so there's lots of history throughout there. And he's just so, he'll pull a fact like, oh yeah, this was like this war, this rent, like it's amazing. So he's gonna step in because it's really important for both of us, but especially for him. He's expressed this, that he really wants our kids to have a world view of history and not just a country-based view. For example, like a lot of the stuff about, say, World War II, if you teach it in North America, it's very North American bias. And he wants to teach historically about the entire historical event. And so I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. I will keep you guys updated on what that looks like. Maybe I'll do another video and maybe I'll sit down with him and he can kind of give some insight on how he plans to teach these. Blossom and Root curriculum also gives a lot of great social study rabbit trails that I can kind of go off of and expand. The boys will be much easier in 4th grade because we're still focusing on a lot of like origin social studies. By that I mean like country, information about our country and how it functions. We also go off of, we have some other resources available to us like the Canadian Reader, and that's a good homeschooling resource for Canadians. It's just one of those things where I feel like I'm never going to nail down. I'm just always going to be dabbling in social studies. Art and extracurriculars are quite easy for us. We're a very artsy, creative family, so we never struggle in this department. The kids are joining lots of different activities and classes through the year. There's pottery class being offered that I'm considering. I'll see if the kids are interested in that. But there is theater classes that one of my kids has signed up for. My daughter's really into theater, and so she has done theater every year for 5 years, I think, is her 5th year. And so she'll be doing theater again. They both do sports, and that runs from September to May, I believe. And so they go in just sessions every week. They go to, it's literally sports classes where we call it sports class because they do multiple sports. So every session is a different sport they're working on. So that's really nice, and it's run by a homeschool parent. It's for the homeschool community. Wonderful option. We have weekly homeschool meetups with our own homeschool group, and then there are several weekly field trips happening within our homeschool community, plus the ones that our group, the one I run, organizes as well. So we have a back to school picnic coming up. We've got all sorts of wonderful activities coming. So we don't have any lack of like social or extracurricular activities, but we are definitely a little bit more chill on it. I don't actually like to sign my kids up for too much because I feel like it really interrupts their rhythm and their natural learning at home. And plus I want them to have time to just be a kid and be down and do their own hobbies and interests and have time with friends, and those parts are really important to me. So I don't want to overload their schedules with like extracurricular activities, you know? So I hope this was engaging. I hope this was helpful. I hope maybe you got a tidbit or two in here that might help you with your own year, but this is just a general overview of how our year went and kind of our general plans for the year going forward. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to list them below, or you have a video that you would like me to dive deeper into, or a topic you want me to talk about more, just put it in the comments below. But otherwise, if you ask a question down there, I'll be happy to answer it right away. I say right away, give me a business day. If you would like to share what you're doing or your plans, I would love to hear them, especially if you have kids in similar grades as mine. But of course, I'm happy to hear anything you guys want to share, any grade, any age. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I know you guys love, like, my homeschool videos are really gaining traction, so I know there's a lot of interest in the homeschool world now. So if there's any videos I can make that would help you on your journey, then just please let me know. I would be happy to share any knowledge that I have, or maybe direct you to a resource that might be helpful. Homeschooling has been such a beautiful gift for our family, and it's interesting. We are getting up to the older grades now, right? We're in like the junior high grades, middle school, whatever. I don't know, depending where you're located, it's called different things. But as we get to the older years, I always said, oh yeah, well for sure homeschool through the elementary years, and then maybe if they want to go to junior high, maybe they're going to want to go to high school, maybe I won't homeschool through those years. And the older they're getting, the more attached to homeschooling they're getting, and the more confident in their own opinions, and they're starting to really form their own ideas of how they view the world and their own thoughts and opinions on it. And to see that happen, and to see them so far really advocate for wanting to stay home, has been really interesting, because I didn't know if I was going to be homeschooling still by 7th grade. So it's always a learning journey. It's a learning journey for me too, just as much. I always say that you grow along with your oldest child always. So it's been a really wonderful thing, but it's been such a beautiful gift for our family. I'm really excited to have an extra kid this year. It's going to be a fun new adventure. It's been a lot of extra work to get ready, but I'm feeling like really confident. We're gonna have lots of fun. I'm excited to share some homeschool adventures with you guys. So if you guys want to see like maybe some day in the life homeschool videos, or just if you guys, sometimes it's hard for me because I'm right here, I'm in it, it's my life. It's hard to see, oh, what would be interesting to somebody? Like, oh, nobody wants to watch that. Why would that be interesting? But then somebody's like, no, this is new to me. I would love to see that. So if you have anything that you want to see, let me know, because sometimes my brain just doesn't think about what would be interesting to you. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you soon with some more homeschool videos throughout the month. But I am filming daily-ish vlogs for the cozy season, the burn months from September, October, November, and December. I post a vlog every other day, as long as I don't get interrupted by life or something. Things happen. But I hope you join me and subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. It helps the algorithm. The YouTube gods love me a little bit more and spread my video to other homeschoolers. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!